Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, I don't even know how to approach this conversation, but I'm just dive on in. There's a viral TikTok going on, and in the TikTok, there are police officers dragging this woman out of a home, and she's locked herself in the bathroom of her daughter's house, and her daughter wants her out of the house removed. And this young lady who called 911 on her mother and had her removed from her home is catching all kinds of flack from our community, the Black community. And I want to talk about that. Projection, we always project our shit onto everybody else. We project our insecurities, our life experiences, our circumstances, our situations, our experiences. We project that onto other people. That's why I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to people when, people say that, you got really thick skin, and that's, and I don't pay people attention in the comments. Well, I know that is a projection of people's insecurities. I have nothing to do with that. And so I don't know if it's more about me understanding that than it is me having thick skin. But either way, it really doesn't. I understand that people are projecting. That's what insecure people do. A lot of people are judging this young lady and saying, I never would have done that. Now, mind you, no one is really taking in that whole scene. They just know that the daughter called 911, and that's what everybody is hyper focusing on. She called 911, and they're dragging this woman out of the bathroom, kicking and screaming. The reason why she is kicking and screaming is because she refuses to leave peacefully. If somebody tells you that they want you to leave their home, leave their home. And it doesn't matter if you're the mother. Children have the right to be adults in their own home. And if she was kicking at the police and felt entitled enough to put hands on the police, what do people think was going down to the degree before the police got there, to the degree where the daughter had to actually call 911? Now, I'm going to tell you, it's never gotten that bad between my mother and myself. Those of you all who have been following me for a little while, you know that I cut ties with my mother 14 years ago. The last time that I saw her, the last time that I saw her was in a Kroger in Hazel Park, Michigan. And she was behind me in line. And it had been so long since I saw her, I had to kind of look at her really good to see if that was her. And it was her. And she was so nervous. I think she thought that I was going to confront her, but confront her for what? And I think that the reason why she thought that I was going to do that is because the time that I saw her before that, a few years prior, was at my cousin's funeral. And she tried to start a fight with me, an altercation at my cousin's funeral, not, I'll say 20 feet from his dead body. Her and my aunt, one of her sisters. And I didn't let it go, get to that point, because at that point, healing had already taken place for me. And she couldn't push my buttons like she used to push them anymore, because I've done enough healing to get past her having the ability to do that. So I think she thought that because the last time that happened, the last time we saw each other, that I was going to have some smoke for her. But no, not at all. I'm a woman. I can just walk away from you. Long as you don't touch me, I won't touch you. And there it is. I don't have to. I didn't reside in that toxic space with her anymore. I didn't feel the need to do that. Which was part of the reason, the main reason why I cut ties with her. I got tired of fighting with her. I didn't want to fight anymore. And she still had the need to do so. And so it was either safeguard my mental health and well-being, continue to progress in my healing, or give her the space to keep taking me back to a place that I didn't want to go back to anymore. It was either that or that. And so 14 years ago, I cut ties with her. Mind you, at the funeral, I never did say a word to her. Never said one word to her. Not one word. And I know that this is my shit, but I'm just giving you all a bit of a different perspective, because we don't all have cozy relations with our parents. And some of us do, in fact, have very, very bad, toxic relations and dynamics with our parents. But because they are our parents, we stay in those relationships, even though those relationships are very abusive. Clearly, like the one this young lady had with her mother. Again, I talk about my mother in passing, but I don't really like get into the nitty and the gritty of it, because I try to leave that shit where it is. But I'm going to tell you a story. When I was a young lady, a young woman, young mother, I was a single mother raising my kids. I lived maybe 6 blocks from my mom. So it was not uncommon for her to stop by frequently. I mean, frequently. And she would always do it without calling. And I am an introvert. An introvert, it takes us, we have to be put on notice for a visit, because our social battery drains so fast. Now, and that's just for a regular person. That is not for someone who is getting ready to come into your space and do harm deliberately to your peace, your mental health and well-being, or to just... My mother would see, she was the kind of person, she would see me, those moments, those brief moments when I could be happy. She would see me being happy, and she would either say something or do something to destroy that for me. She was that person. And believe it or not, I didn't see that till years later in therapy. But back in those days, I smoked weed. That's another reason why I didn't want her to just pop up on me either. Because I'm in my house living. And sometimes during this one time in particular, now mind you, wait, let me go back, because I'm skipping over shit. I told her, I would appreciate it if you would just call before you come to my house. And she would never respect it. She just wouldn't respect it. And one time I told her, I said, if she came over unexpectedly, and I said, I thought we had this conversation, and it was like, whatever. And it's just in, and let's see what kind of psychological harm I can cause today. Very seldom did we have a good mother-daughter visit. We didn't have that relationship. And also too, I was single, so I would date. I didn't date a whole lot, only because I was raising 2 sons, and I never did want to be that mother where my sons saw me and coming in and coming out. I kept my dating life pretty down low. So I would maybe, if I was going to have an overnight visit or overnight guest, I would send my kids to my favorite aunt's house or something like that. And, and I would have my visit. But if my mother drove down the street and she saw a car that she didn't recognize, yeah, she... boom, 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 boom. None of that was her business. And, any other mother would say, oh, look like she might be having a visitor over there. Let me keep driving. That's what I would do, or better yet, I just call, because I have 2 adult sons. I just call. She would never do that. So at this time, it came a point when we were on a 10-6 at work. And a 10-6 is when you work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, until they tell you to stop, because it was those many orders for SUVs, for cars. I was a team coordinator for Chrysler Corporation, and I was tired. And I think we had been doing this, I think we were into like week 6 or something like that. I was tired. And normally we have Saturday and Sundays off, but not if you're doing a 10-6. You got Sunday off only, and you work 10 days. And if 10 hours. And if I was working 10 hours, it probably wasn't uncommon for me to do 12-hour shifts, because I was a TC. Now, We came to the end of that. And all I wanted to do was deep clean my house, because when you work in those own shits like that, things get neglected. I just wanted to send my kids to my aunts. It wasn't even about no man, I just wanted to clean my house and relax and think. And I probably did tell my mother that, because I didn't realize that then that she was someone that I needed to really gatekeep everything from. My business, my feelings, my emotions, my fears, my schedule, my thoughts, my intentions, my plans. And so I probably told her, yeah, I'm just going to send the kids over to, Auntie so-and-so's house and do a real deep clean. And that means, we flipping mattress, we cleaning baseboards, we're doing it. We're cleaning out refrigerators, cupboards, refilling cupboards, going shopping. We didn't have DoorDash, Instacart, all that good shit, ship, all the shit y'all got now. You new moms, honey, we didn't have those things back in the day. You had to do everything yourself. And so it was like she had a camera in my house, because I tell you, I spent all day cleaning. Man, I'm tired. We just got off 10-6. I'm tired as fuck, man. And no sooner than I got done, lit the candles in my house, floor all vacuum clean, floors mopped, everything done, I could finally just sit down, put on some music, and relax. Here I hear her SUV come pulling up in the driveway. I said, motherfucker. Shit. And I remember it was a spring day in Detroit. We had this big, pretty tree in the front of our house that I grew up with. And I had the door open because it was warm enough. And I had one of those ornamental security doors. Really pretty security doors. I have them on my doors here in South Carolina. Everybody always asks me about them. It's a Detroit thing. The trick of it is not to get the kind that make it look like you in jail, but to get the really pretty kind. And I got the really, really pretty kind on my door. At least on my front, back, and side doors. And so she didn't have because I just changed the locks on my doors recently. So she didn't have the keys to my house. And it was raining a little bit. And I had just rolled a joint, just poured me a drink. And like I said, here she come. And I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm going to stand on business. She knocked and she knocked and she knocked and she knocked. And I sat on that couch. I lit that joint. I drank that vodka and orange juice. That was my drink back in the day. I'm still a vodka drinker. Anita Baker playing in the background, candles lit. She knew I was home, my car in the driveway. She knocked. She knocked. She knocked. And I sat there, not saying a word. It was literally a battle of wills. I expected her to call out, but she didn't. She couldn't, because so many times I had asked her politely and respectfully as my mother, please call before you come to my home, because I needed that from her. And she got in her car and she left, and we never talked about it. But from that moment on, she called before she came to my house. I don't know why it is, just leaving my stuff out of it for a minute, why it is that mothers, especially with daughters, why they feel the need to challenge our womanhood the way that they do. But they do. I don't know. And I can't speak about any other demographic, but Black mothers, I gotta say especially, I don't know why it is Black mothers and daughters, why Black mothers challenge us the way that they do. And it's so unnecessary. If that young lady, for whatever her reason was, That was her house. And if she asked her mother to go, her mother should have left. You don't get to tell your daughter, you the child, because your parental authority over your child ends when your child becomes an adult. It ain't no longer no stay in a child place or you the child, I'm the parent. Now, it's one thing to respect your parent as a child, but as a parent, you have to learn how to, we should be respecting our children as children because they're just little people. That's something that I failed at miserably with my own. But when they become an adult, there's one thing that I can say I did do right. You are supposed to respect them as men and women. As long as they're respecting you. Your child don't have to give you a reason for wanting you to leave. Just leave. Coming to your child's house and making your child feel bad in their own home is toxic as fuck. And if you feel like you have to do that to your child, it goes beyond your child needing therapy. At this point, it goes to you needing therapy. You yourself, as the parent, you need to go into therapy and you need to figure out how to be a better parent to your child. I mean, at this point, everybody really need to be going to therapy. But roles will change. And your parental authority over your child ends when they become an adult. You can guide them, you can advise them, but you can't rule them. You don't get to rule your adult child. And if for some reason you feel like you have full parental authority to rule your child, you're wrong. And as a parent, if what you're going to do is help your adult child, then help your adult child just because they need your help. Don't use the fact that they cash strapped or financially strapped or need a little help as a means to control them. If you're doing that, you need the help. Go to therapy. That's really all I really want to say about that. But for those of you all who have had wonderful relationships with your parents, I truly, truly envy you. But I remind you that not all of us had that. And to tell people who have made the only choice that they could for themselves and cut ties with their parents to save their mental health, their emotional health, their physical health, their overall well-being, that they are wrong for that they don't have the right to protect themselves from a toxic parent. And mind you, I haven't even scratched the surface of how toxic my mother is. That was just one little story to give you a little bit of nuance to let you know not all of us had cozy, fuzzy, loving relationships with our parents. Toxic people have many roles. They are mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and grandparents and uncles and aunts and co-workers and pastors and church members and teachers and boyfriends and girlfriends and neighbors. If you don't know, you can't speak on it. That's all I want to say. If you would like to support my platform or buy me a cup of coffee. I'll leave my Cash App and Venmo down in the comments. Y'all have a great day. And remember that your children are people, even if they're little right now. And I wish that was messaging that I had have gotten from my parents, but I had to learn it in therapy, and I learned it too late. And I'm giving you the benefit of my experience and knowledge. Your children, even though they're little right now, they are little people with feelings and emotions, and they should have the freedom to feel those big feelings and emotions, so that they can experience and grow in their emotional intelligence. Let them go through it. Guide them, help them, advise them, but let them feel what they're feeling. Talk them through it. And then when they become adults and they learn how to manage themselves, because you have given them the tools as a parent to manage themselves. Again, all you can do is guide and advise, but you cannot rule. Your parental authority over your child ends at their adulthood. Y'all have a good day.